All right. Hopefully this is coming through. Hey everybody. It's pretty interesting that I did one. I did a video yesterday, and I'm going to do one today as well. Um, I just wanted to kind of. I had a couple thoughts yesterday, and I wanted to kind of get them down because I know that if I don't, they're gonna completely go away from me for a while. Because I didn't write them down. It just kind of popped into my head. And I'm already starting to forget them now, which is kind of sad. Uh, so I was thinking, I've been, I've been on this whole Tartaria trip, and I've been on this whole, restructured time period trip and all that. And one thing that popped into my head, and I've got some tickle in my throat, so if I start coughing, I'm sorry. One thing that popped into my head that made me start thinking was, what if, because I hear a lot of guys that will say, well, if our founding fathers were here, they'd be shooting their guns by now, or this is not what our founding fathers had in plan for us, and all this stuff. And I have the biggest problem with that because we have confirmed that all of our founding fathers were Freemasons. And whether you want to believe it or not, they don't have our interests. They don't have our well being in their interests. And hold on one second. I told you I was going to have to cough eventually. But they don't have our best interests in their thoughts or their plans. So, how can our founding fathers, who supposedly wrote this beautiful, freedom giving document called the uh, Declaration of Independence and our Constitution, how could they have written that with our thoughts in mind? And I hear people constantly say that, the founding fathers said this, and they, if only we could live like them. And it's like, no, they were Freemasons. They're just as much the enemy as everybody else. I mean, they could be play acting, and they could be making themselves out to be the best thing in the world, but I don't think that's what's going on. So you have this whole mud flood thing that's between the 1750s and the 1850s. Right in between there is 1776. You have this war that happened, this supposed revolutionary war that happened between Britain and America. Take a drink here, see if this will help. Which it probably didn't. But you have this war that happened between them, and then suddenly America pops up, and it's it's supposedly the best thing going. It's you've got our founding fathers that they're all Freemasons. They build this place that's supposed to be happy and free, and all this stuff, and yet we can tell that it's just kind of descended into nonsense. Now, again, I don't subscribe to this whole thing that these group of Freemasons decided to build this country for good, and then 200 years later, this group of Freemasons is deciding to burn it down. Now, you can believe whatever you want. I preface this everywhere. You can believe whatever you want. You don't have to believe me because I'm just some guy that's got thoughts going through his head. But it's possible they could have changed. It's possible that this whole thing could have turned the way it's turned. But you have to remember that the Illuminati was formed at the exact same time that our country was being formed. And then you have this whole mud flood thing. Now, if our forefathers were as good as they say they were, why weren't they talking about this? Why weren't they saying, well, something happened and here it is, and yada, yada, yada? That popped up. I'm sorry. I should have muted it. So it doesn't make any sense. So yesterday I had this thought. So what if, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's had this thought. I have a feeling that, like I said, I'm behind the curve on this one a lot. I have that feeling. So what if this Tartaria thing stretched through, stretched through America? I mean, there's people saying that this thing stretched all the way down to South America. So this thing could have been bigger than we could have ever imagined. What if this war was Britain or whoever, Illuminati, whatever, trying to take over America from Tartaria, and they got it, and they didn't use, or they took the Constitution of Tartaria and changed it for their uses. Does that make sense? What if? I mean, that's just a what if. I don't, I don't have any proof to back that up, and I don't have anything substantial to put with that. It just, what if? What if that's what it was? And they just took this Constitution or this Declaration of Independence, whatever, and they took it and they subverted it to their own, because the Constitution is a beautiful thing. It's a freedom giving document that appeals to the best in everybody. It really truly does. And when you take that document and apply it to our founding fathers, it doesn't. There's still some things that don't work. It talks about giving freedom to all men, and all men are created equal and all this, yet they still own slaves. They still had this whole slave trade mentality, and there were still other things that they did that just it doesn't line up perfectly. So it doesn't make any sense. This is why a lot of people say that the founding fathers weren't real. That George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, all these other guys, they just weren't real. They didn't exist. They were all made up. They were just made up people. So I don't know. There might be something there. There might not be something there. I don't know. It just I'm sure that somebody somewhere is probably looking into that far more than I am. It was a thought that came to me, and I had to get it off my chest, and that's that. The other reason I really, really wanted to make a video this morning was last night I had the worst dreams ever. It was so bad. Even having the Wi-Fi and stuff turned off, it was bad. I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was real close to 3 o'clock in the morning. It was before that, though. I think it was from like 2:30 to 3 o'clock. I kept waking up. I kept having these dreams that there was something in the room that was trying to get us, that there was some kind of black mist or entity or something. I don't know. I really don't know. Trying to get us in the bed. And every time it was trying to touch us, I kept waking up. And every time I'd wake up, I'd scare it off. And every time I'd wake up scared off, I had this weird number flash in front of my eyes. It was like this big long string of numbers. I wrote it down, actually. It got to the point where it was so bad that I had to write this stuff down so that I would remember what it was. And it didn't make any sense at first. It was just a big long string of numbers. And so I finally got myself awake. I reached over, grabbed the phone, and just started typing this thing in. And when I did, I was like, okay, good. At least it's out of my head. So I laid back down, and when I laid back down, I had more stuff flash through my head. Big white letters just flashing through my head. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll write that stuff down too. So I got over my phone again. I wrote that stuff in. I was really drowsy, so it was really hard trying to keep up with these numbers. And then the very last string of numbers kind of got really messed up because I was so drowsy and I was starting to lose. I was starting to lose it, and it was crazy. So I'm gonna let you guys see it because I can't do anything. I searched these and I couldn't really find anything. I don't know if it's gonna show up or not. Ooh, look at that! There we go. Oh no, you guys can see that. This was last night at 3:05 in the morning, and that is exactly what I typed. Like I said, that last little bit, I don't know too much about. That's why I put the question mark there. But the 18 whatever, that was the first one. That was the one that I got. That was the one that I got whenever I was doing this whole, there was something coming into the bed and I'd scare them, and that was the number that was flashing in my head. I searched that and it's absolutely nothing. I can't find anything about it. I don't know if it's going to mean anything or not. I don't know. But then the second one, the Fleetwood 1500. I don't know. The first thing you say Fleetwood, people think Fleetwood Mac. That's the first thing that popped into my head, but I don't think that was it. I found out there's a 1500 Fleetwood in Indianapolis, but it's like a street corner out in the Rich Bitch neighborhood. I don't know what that means. And then the last number, I don't know. I don't know. It was just something that happened last night, and I'm like, man, I need to get it off my chest because I really don't know what it is. It was just weird. But that coupled with what I was thinking about with the founding fathers, it was just kind of like, you know what, let's just make a video. Let's just put it down on record so that I have it, so that I can understand it. Maybe 5 years down the line, if we're still here in 5 years. Oh man. So the third thing, which I was actually going to try to do first, but then I was like, no, because if I did it first, I would feel like I was trying to piggyback on everybody else, because everybody's talking about it right now. It's Sunday, January 27th, and everyone's talking about YouTube screwing up something else yet again. So here we are. YouTube is making it to where if you search up any kind of conspiracy theory, well, I don't want to say any kind of conspiracy theory, because you can still look up Tartaria and you can still look up certain you can still look up Bible stuff. Let's put it that way. Like end times prophecies and all that. You can still look that stuff up. But 9/11, Sandy Hook, flat Earth, anything like that, it will not. The actual conspiracy stuff will not pop up in the search engine unless you really, really dig. I mean, I had to go through a lot of different things and then finally found, just random things. Most of the videos that are on there are like, well, here's the conspiracy and here's why these people are idiots, or here's a conspiracy and here's why you shouldn't listen to it. They're doing that under the whole thing of, we're just trying to get rid of fake news, because it's apparently having somebody even put forth the idea that it's possible that this stuff wasn't what you thought it was is bad. I am still under the assumption that, we can all have our own opinions about stuff. And if we wish to talk about it, if we think that it's big enough to talk about, we should be able to talk about it, because it's free speech. It's exactly what it is. Free speech should be completely free. I was listening to a video today about a guy. I'm not going to drop names. I'm not going to do it. But I'll tell you what, this guy started his YouTube career with conspiracy theories. Actually, he started his career with conspiracy theories and blasting other people on YouTube. It's pretty much what he did. It's what it was. He'd get on there and he'd talk about all this stuff, but he talked about conspiracy theories. That was one of the first. It's one of the reasons I subscribed to him, because he was one of the 9/11 guys. He was one of the Sandy Hook guys. He was one of those guys, and he was putting out real information. He was putting out real information that he wasn't he wasn't putting like, diehard theories behind him, but he was putting that out as stuff that we should be looking into. So he puts out a video today. He puts out a video today saying that they're doing this, and it's not a bad thing because some of this stuff is really detrimental to some people. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. This is how you started your career. You're gonna sit there in your $300 racing seat with your nice backdrop, with your $300 microphone that's hanging over above your head, your prim proper little nonsense that you have now, and you're going to tell me that this career that you started, that started with conspiracy theories, it's okay for them to take that off the air now because all you're doing now is just doing entertainment drama nonsense. Wow, man, just wow. That blew my mind. That's like, man, that kind of stuff just makes me want to unsubscribe. And I don't really watch him that much anymore because, like I said, he switched from being the conspiracy guy or a conspiracy guy over to being entertainment drama alert, or political drama alert. And it doesn't. He's espousing truth, but he's doing it from an entertainment perspective. And it's like, man, all those little features and things that you have that made your channel have the couple 100,000 subscribers that you have, that nice pretty little chair that you're sitting on, and that nice pretty microphone you're using, and that camera that makes everything all crystal clear and beautiful. You're telling me that now that they're taking away the conspiracy stuff so that no one else can have what you have, or even can get out that kind of information, you're telling me that that's okay? Because YouTube needs to take some of that down because some of it's dangerous for people. Wow, he's sitting there saying, well, man, some of the best stuff I watch is the conspiracy stuff. I think it's hilarious to get on there and watch it. And ha ha ha, it's good for a laugh, but man, it could really hurt somebody. It's like, so what were you doing? Were you making it so that you could just have a laugh? Is that what it was? And that's funny. It's just funny. So anyways, yeah, YouTube is they're taking it all out. They're not taking it all out so much as you can't be suggested a video that's a conspiracy thing. You can't. It's going to be harder and harder to search for one. I mean, they're still there. You can still hunt them down. I'm sure that the next step for them is going to be to start just pulling them completely, which is the worst kind of censorship possible. I know that we all agreed to this. We all signed up for the terms that YouTube could pull whatever the hell they wanted to. It used to be that YouTube used to be, it's all about you. This is you putting your videos up, but now it's basically, it's all about you until it screws with somebody else's thing, and then we're just going to pull it, and we're going to call it something that it's probably not, and then we're going to get rid of it because we can't have you telling people the truth. That's what it seems like at this point. So I don't know. I don't know. It's the first step in controlling the masses. It's not even the first step. It's been happening for a while. This is just the next step. And then the step after this, like I said, is they're just probably going to pull it, or they're going to start pulling more channels. Anybody that even remotely talks about this stuff, and I don't get that. Why can't we talk about it? Why can't, even for an entertainment purpose, why can't we talk about it? Even if it's somebody that's saying, don't believe me. If it's a personal thing, why can't it stay a personal thing? People don't have to believe me. I believe the earth is flat. So, does it bother you? Am I on here telling you lies about it? I mean, if you believe it's a lie, then just go on. Move on. What does it have to do with anything? I don't think it's possible at all for the Twin Towers to have fallen the way it was. That's not, it doesn't look right to me. Does that mean that I'm on here trying to tell you that you should go believe that and that I don't know how to put that into words, but does that mean that you need to go and is that subverting your mind? No, it's not subverting your mind. You can believe whatever you want to believe until you look into it and it either changes your opinion or you think I'm a complete nut job. That's on you. That's for you to decide. That has nothing to do with me. That's why I don't get on here and show you pretty little pictures and all this other crap, because I keep saying the one thing I constantly say about this whole deal is you need to go find it out for yourself, because there's more power in you looking something up and finding it out for yourself and proving something either wrong or right than for me to just sit here and show it to you and say, this is how it is, because I don't know how it is, because it's not, it may or may not be real. I don't even know anymore. It's in my 40 years of being on this earth, on this plane, on this realm. I even say planet occasionally because it's just what I've always been told that it was. On my 40 years in this place, I've had everything told to me, and then I've seen everything not look right. It just doesn't look right anymore. It doesn't feel right anymore. And when something doesn't feel right to you, when you look at a thing and you really think, man, that doesn't look right at all. Whenever you get to that point where it just doesn't look right to you, that's when you need to stop and go look at it. If it looks right to you, hey, go, continue your life. Do whatever you want to do. You're not going to believe it anyways if you don't want to. And that's, that's a thing. But if it doesn't look right to you, you have to question it. And that should be what we do, but it's not. And it's become like that. It's part of the system. It's a whole big conspiracy, and I'm not going to get into that. But it should be that way. If there's something that doesn't look right, you should be able to question it. And until you find the truth of that, you should be able to believe whatever you want with that. And if you so choose to point that out to somebody else, then you can. I don't believe in forcing somebody to do that. I don't believe in absolutes. I really don't believe in absolutes. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. No, I don't believe in absolutes. I think anything is possible. And I've thought that anything is possible for a long, long time. And anything is possible. I also believe in fate. I think that anything is possible, but I also believe that fate pushes us towards a line. I've always thought that. Now that I believe in God, now I see that, he has a thing. But that's my belief. You don't have to believe that. And I think that's part of the whole YouTube conspiracy things. If they want to say that, they want to say that. Now, the problem with that is again, you've got guys that are going off and they're harassing the people that are a part of this. And I can understand. I can get this. And I don't think that's where it should go. I honestly don't. I think what it should be is from person to person, we should be talking about it. And when somebody changes their mind about it, then they can go change somebody else's mind. If they can. If they can't, then fine, whatever. But if everybody's minds are open to it and the concept changes, then you can get a lot of people to change it at once, not just one person at a time. One person at a time just makes the whole thing seem ridiculous. It's it's that whole herd mentality, pretty much is what it is. If you got one guy that goes out there screaming on the corner about whatever the hell he believes in, he looks like a loon. But you get 20 or 30 people out there talking about it, people start questioning. I think that's the biggest thing about it. And I mean, even the guys that are going off harassing these people supposedly and doing all this other kind of stuff, we don't know if they're being truthful about it. We don't know if they're doing it for the sake of the truth, or if they're just doing it to screw us over. We don't know that. That's the problem. We don't know. But you can't prove that anymore, and this whole thing with YouTube, it's just going to keep going like this. You can protest it, you can petition it, you can do whatever you want to, but at this point, that's how it is. It's not going to change. If it changes, hey, if it changes, it changes. If it doesn't change, then we just lost another step. I mean, it just is what it is. This whole system that we live in is set up so that you can't question anything. And I was watching a video the other day of how the information that we got whenever we were in school, how it was so fractured, and the way that they set us up so that we can't focus on one thing at a time. They give you what, 50 minutes in a class, and then the bell rings, and as soon as the bell rings, like a Pavlov's dog, you forget everything that you were learning, and then you got to go on to the next subject, which 9 times out of 10 is completely different than what you were learning. I mean, you may go from math to science to world history to economics, and none of it makes any damn sense. You're just bam, 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 and you can't really learn anything like that. And I absolutely agree with that. You can't learn anything like that, because I don't think 50 minutes at a time is enough to learn anything like that. We used to have skills and trades, and you used to spend half your entire life learning how to do something before you actually became a master at what you were doing, and then you did that for the rest of your life. And it was a skill, and you did that, and it was good for you, and you were able to earn a good wage for that. We don't have that anymore. Now we're just gonna tell you all this stuff all at once, and we're gonna hope that you can pass the test at the end of the week, and there you go, bye. And that's what it is. And then they're just putting out drones. And that's the education system. That's just the way this whole system is, and it's a system meant to fail. It absolutely is. And once you can admit to yourself that it's a system meant to fail, then you got to ask yourself the question, well, why is it a system meant to fail? And then once you start figuring out why, then you start figuring out the ultimate impossibilities of why all this stuff is falling apart the way it is. And that's where I am. It leads you to this point. If it doesn't lead you to that point, then it doesn't lead you to that point. That's okay. That's if you can see it, cool. If you can't see it, that's fine too. If you can't see it, I'm not going to be able to change your mind, because you're either going to see it or you're not going to see it. And I can't help you. I wish I could. I wish I could get everybody to see it, but some people are just going to be able to see it. So you gotta try to save who you can save, because you can't save everybody, because not everybody's supposed to be saved. So that's cold hard truth, but I think that more than anything else should piss people off enough that they should look into it. Just that line alone should just kick people in the ass. Not everybody's going to be saved. That right there should just piss you off enough to just make you say, okay, wait, now I got to look into it, because I am not going to be left behind. But people won't do that. Some people don't want to be saved. They want to do it. It's in the book. I've said it before. It's in the book. It says people will even get there and they won't like it. And they'll just want to go back. And it's like, that's what it is. It's Cypher in the Matrix, man. Once you get out, you may not like it. You just want to go back. Put me back in. Make me an actor. Somebody famous. Make me an actor. Like an actor. insane. It's insane. I just don't want to be a part of it anymore. I really don't. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. It's just nuts. I've said it before. I am not of this world. I don't. I've never been a part of this world. Being a part of this world is just, it's just weird and just doesn't make any damn sense. And I've always just felt that, this is not where I was ever meant to be, but I'm here, and now I have to figure out how to get home, back where I do belong. So I don't know. I guess I'll stop. I love how I get to a point and I get all excited about it, and I just really, and then by the end of it, it's like, oh, I'm done. I'm over it. It's just everything. It just, because it drags you down. It drags you down after a while. It really drags your ass down because you can't. A lot of it's hard to put into words. It's really hard to put into words. I know I should stop here, but I just want to get this part out. When you think about the stuff that you've had your eyes open to, and this is from a guy that has his eyes opened, or at least his beliefs in this stuff are opened. When you start seeing it, you start seeing the big picture, and you start seeing that it could possibly all be a lie. That they've just been lying to you from the beginning. And like I said, it's the possibility that it's all a lie, because I don't know. I'll tell you what, if these people are telling us the truth, then it's definitely more screwed up than we could ever possibly think. I mean, it really, really is. If all this stuff I'm talking about, if everything I'm talking about is completely untrue, I mean, if 9/11 happened the way that it happened, if Sandy Hook happened the way that it happened, if the government is doing everything in their power to make things good, if the Earth is round, if we went to the moon, if all this other kind of stuff, if all this stuff actually happened the way that they tell us that it happened, we are way worse off than we could ever imagine, because that means that there is a level of ineptness of being inept in everything we do that, wow, just wow. But I don't think that. It just, too many coincidences. Too many coincidences. How many coincidences? Wow. How many coincidences? That's what happens when your nose gets stuffed up. It's early in the morning. Right now it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up an hour ago. So, how many coincidences do you need before you start questioning reality? That's the way it works. How many? If I ever have to try to explain anything to anybody, that's got to be the first thing I start out with. How many coincidences do you need to start questioning? Because after that, if you think that everything is a coincidence, then you will never see it. But if it only takes a couple coincidences for you to start seeing patterns, then, buddy, I can turn your entire head. I really can. But seeing it the way that I see it, and trying to tell people about it, it's just, you can't save everybody. There's no way. Some people just won't believe it. No matter how much of an argument, how good of an argument you pose, people will not be able to see it, because they just don't want to, because they're happy with their lives. And if you're happy with your life, I want you to be happy with your life, because you're not going to you're not going to want to walk away from this world. There's a lot of guys and girls, guys, a term for everybody. There's a lot of people that have killed themselves because they don't. Now, I've known a lot of people that have not killed themselves so much. I've known people that have done that though. I've known people that have felt like I do. They don't feel like they belong here, and they just want to die. They just want to get it over with and leave, and they they feel that something's wrong, but they feel that something's wrong with them more than anything else. And I wish you could just talk to those people before they do anything and just say, look, you may think there's something wrong with you, and it's possible. Uh, but have you thought about looking to see if there's something wrong with the world, not just you? If there's something wrong with with other stuff that's happening, and I think that's a big step. Is is for people to question that, you know, especially the ones that are right on the edge. And I used to be right on the edge. I used to. There's so many times that I can remember just lying in bed, just wailing and crying and thinking, why am I here? Why am I here in this shithole? Sitting holding a loaded gun, just thinking, why not? Why not? Used to wear a bullet. It was a live round, 9 millimeter hollow point. Used to wear a bullet around my neck for almost my entire senior year of high school because that was going to be the bullet. That was the one. I picked that. I think I pulled it out of a box of bullets. I picked that one. That was going to be mine because I said I can't live in this place. This place is terrible. This place is absolutely terrible. And I had so many opportunities, but I didn't. And I don't know why. I really don't. I mean, I do now. I can put a name on it. I can put a reason on it. But there's been so many times where I laid in bed crying, thinking, why didn't I? What was holding me back at that time that I'm here at this point now? And it's that's got to be rough for people that just can't get past this shit. This world. It's got to be rough. I'm gonna throw this cup away. I was even saying this, wasn't I? This cup's leaking. It's unbelievable. I'm way off topic, aren't I? I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's so hard to put into words. It's so hard to put into words for people to understand. And you see it every day, and you go on with your life, and that's what I do every day. I pick myself up. I do my prayers, and I just say, just get me through. Give me the full armor of your glory, so that nothing bad will penetrate me today. That I cannot be hurt by any of this that surrounds us. Just get me through another day until you're ready to take me home. That's what I do. And then you go to work and you realize that what you're doing at work means nothing. You come home. I come home and I play my video games to unwind. And some days I think, but why? What is it doing for me? What good is this video game doing for me besides just turning my mind off? You know, just taking the stress away. I go upstairs and we watch TV, and it's just more of that whole taking our mind off of it. And you don't think about it, you just do it, and it just you get through it, and it's. I personally feel that there's so much more to it, and every day I just want to. Every day I just want to grab somebody and just kind of pull them off to the side and say, "This isn't the way it's supposed to be. This isn't the way it's supposed to be." But you seem like a crazy person when you do that, and you can't you can't be crazy like that. You can't do it like that. You can't go off being crazy like that. You have to hope that somebody will want to come to you, or you have to do like I'm doing. You know, put one of these videos out. Maybe somebody somewhere will catch it. Something will click inside their mind, and they'll start the path, and then they can go off and do something like this, and the pattern just moves from there. The saddest part is that you know the evils of the world are moving a lot faster than we are, and they've done a pretty good job making everybody that talks like us look as crazy as all hell, and that's just the way it is. There you go. So I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna throw this cup away. Trash can. I did something today. I accomplished something today. I threw the cup away. There you go. Don't ever let it be said that I don't hold up my end of bargains, or at least keep promises. I try to keep promises. So, anyways, that's all that. So I'm gonna stop. I didn't want to make it that long, but I wound up making it that long anyways. There's just so much to talk about. There really is, and you get to that point where you store all this stuff up in your head, and every day you kind of take this piece here, put this piece here, and you slowly start building this puzzle. And the entire time you're building this puzzle, the only thing you can think is, I just want to release it. I just want to release it. I need to get it out of my head, because in my head it doesn't make any damn sense. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to get it out of my head. Whether you want to believe it or not, like I said, that's up to you. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I do care. I care about everybody. I really do. I just don't. If you don't believe me, then I can't. Uh, that is, it is what it is. It's like I said, I can't really care about that. I'm sorry. You're going to believe what you believe, and you're going to go off and you're going to do whatever you're going to do, and that's the way it is. But if something does turn, then like I said, it's out there. Go find it. Go find it, because finding it for yourself gives you so much more power over it than just somebody telling you. Because the biggest thing about it is that it's not just somebody giving you the information and putting the information in your head. It's you finding that information for yourself and changing your own mind. It's what it is. It's changing your own mind, making your own mind make the turn. There you go. It's critical thinking. I absolutely thank my mother for making me a critical thinker. I need to call her. Tell her I love her. Call your moms. Tell your mom you love her. All right. Anyways, thank you guys very much for letting me ramble. I appreciate it. I really do. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't. And until next time, I wish you all well in all your future endeavors. And I hope that the world lasts for you. I was gonna say something about my future endeavors because I don't have work anymore, so I have to. Hopefully Monday I'll get a phone call and I can go back to work for the tax man. Yay! Good money. It's good money. I hate the work that we're doing, but it's good money. It is what it is. I know it's a shitty, corrupt system, and I know it's basically it's thievery. It's petty robbery is what it is. It's robbery. 100% robbery. They only need 20% of us, but they take 45%. So it is what it is. But yeah, just take care of yourselves. God bless y'all. And like I said, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Don't believe anybody else. Go look it up for yourself. Go find it for yourself. And if you can't find it, then go on with your life. But if you do find it, then welcome to the club. Welcome to the party, pal. All right. I will see you guys later.